We have the Trail of Blood on our website, by the way. It's just a single HTML page. You can then copy that. Takes you a second to run your cursor down, copy it, and paste it into a word processor, Word or OpenOffice or something like that, and then save it to your hard drive and print it or just read it off your computer. It's very easily done. Free of charge. Anybody got any questions or anything clarification you need on any of this? Yes, Kim?
What's an Anabaptist?
An Anabaptist is basically a Baptist before the Reformation. And then they splintered off. There were some groups that went into the Mennonites. Actually, the Amish also traced back from there, but it's kind of like a family tree. You have the Anabaptist is the stump, and then up here, the Baptists, Independent Baptists.
Didn't they call that because they didn't believe in baby baptism?
Yeah, they were Anabaptism because they rebaptized people who, say you were sprinkled as a baby, and then later on you see you need to be born again, and then once you're born again, that's when you get baptized, and it's by immersion. That's why they were labeled that. So the Baptists themselves are called Baptists because of that same reason. We find our history tracing back to that issue, the nonconformists. Now, there were groups that were Baptistic or whatever, called the Brethren, I can't remember all the names, a bunch of names like that. It's very interesting. That Trail of Blood will introduce you to a lot of wonderful Christians. Those Waldensians lived up in the mountains of Europe and northern Italy. It's heartbreaking. They were just wonderful, godly people living their lives. It was like something out of a fairy tale. And the Pope took his troops up there and just started slaughtering them. It's just amazing. Yes? Yeah, it's the same book under two different titles. The original title was In Edith's Day. Someone else has recently republished, and what was it called now? The Bible Makes Us Baptists. But it's a great historical novel of the Anabaptist persecution. Some heart-wrenching things. I read these groups. The Quakers are another group. I couldn't agree with a lot of their doctrine, but they believed the gospel. They loved the Lord, and they were so persecuted. And just wonderful people. You'll read their journals, and there'll be just nothing but praising the Lord and lamenting the wickedness of their day, which would make our day look, And then for no reason, wicked people would come along and just start killing them and running them out, burning their entire towns, and the Moravians is another one. Again, you'll find doctrinal things you wouldn't agree with, but wonderful believers, the Moravians. Moravians were the ones who got a hold of John Wesley. Wesley was an Anglican, and then the Moravians kept saying, you need to be born again. He's like, I've been baptized. They're like, yeah, and you need to be born again. And that's when he had his Aldersgate experience and became the John Wesley, and Charles Wesley had the same thing that we know of. So I want to tell you this. I don't say it as often as I should, but the great men of God through the years have said that the Christians need to know, to study two things. That's the Bible and history. And it's the ignorance of the Bible, obviously, but also the ignorance of history that's caused so many to stumble. Hosea 4:6, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. So I used to hate history. Now I can't get enough. You start to learn this stuff, you start to see the reality of it, and it just becomes addicting.